Hi everyone, I'm hoping that you all are doing good. So my ISO series are going on, as you already heard about it, and you might be looking at those videos. So I want to grab your attention towards the matter which I'm sharing in order to relate it with what I want to convey and what you're trying to perceive out of it. So the main context is that I am sure that you must be knowing about the basics of ISO, right? So what it actually includes, the basics of ISO, it actually basically includes it shows as a standard, right? It is a standard for not specific to only India, but it's a worldwide standard to be followed in every sort of organization. But I'm talking about the ISO here. I'm later talking about the ISO 20K. So ISO basically standards is for every industry, but specifically ISO 20K is basically for the service based industry, because in ISO 20K we are majorly looking to the service management system and to the organization who are providing services to their customer. For example, their application maintenance. For example, I'm taking the example of TCS, Wipro, Capgemini, Accenture, Cognizant, right? So all these things. So basically I want to basically talk about that, because that's the main concern I need to talk about. First of all, we talked about its clauses, right? With clauses it will be proceeding further. Whenever there is a context of audits coming for the external audits, right? So any organization is going to be audited against some of its projects. So projects must be there who are following up those standards, or standards can be looking into the ISO 20K. So I'm talking about the ISO 20K. So there must be the projects following up there, and ISO 20K must be followed there. So basically, if I'm talking about the reality, ISO 20K service management system, which is actually connected, or it's a shadow for ITIL practices. So whenever there is ITIL practices to be followed in any project, so you can just assure that 20K is done for that project, right? So your process will be audited against those standards. If ITIL is there, majority of the part is covered, right? So I talked about the context of the organization, because see, if the auditor is coming there, right? So you must be knowing about the project must be knowing about the context of its organization, the scope. So project is followed, for example, some practices and frameworks that is used against the organization, right? So whatever there is the certain processes to be followed, what can be the internal and external parties which can be affected from that clause, that needs to be documented. There is definitely a service management system in place for that particular project, against which organization can be audited, right? So another one was context of the organization. Then I talked about planning. So planning is definitely starting up with all the policies, procedures, documentation on the basis of what the organization can be audited. It can be your simple risk register, it can be simple skill gaps to be followed, it can be simple your access management. So these are the things, this can be planned. Another one I'm talking about is leadership. So leadership must be knowing about the service management system, right? So service management system, whatever is following in an organization, leadership must be aware about it, and that particular thing must be transferred and followed to the another resources. They must be knowing that what they are doing, right? That is the only concern about, and I'm sure that you must be getting a basic brief understanding about it, and I'm hoping that you like other videos as well, and I'll definitely explain like the same way I did. Thank you so much for your time.